Hello, everybody. This is Jessica Emery, and I am hopping on for an episode of the Dental Diaries, which originally was starting out as a me podcast, which was going to be about my diaries. But then, of course, I've met all of these incredible people along the way that I've wanted to bring in, and it's been amazing. But today I wanted to do a podcast while I was at Dental Soiree, and life got away from me and I wasn't able to record it. So instead, I have waited until tonight at 10 p.m. to jump into my closet and just basically say a couple of words. Life has been absolutely insane. And today is Friday. The weekdays are blending into the weekends, and I don't even know what day it is. So one thing I have to say about us working so hard and looking forward to Friday, right? Y-A-Y, is because we work so hard during the weeks that we anticipate that break, knowing that there is the weekend. And I don't know, there just isn't any kind of breaks now. And certainly I have been going and not really stopping. So, there's just never a break in between. So I just actually had to tell one of my kiddos tonight that I would be staying home tomorrow. It is supposed to be 77 degrees and gorgeous, so I will take it. But I did bring my laptop home. So what's wrong with that picture? I don't know. I've just got this crazy side hustle that I cannot stop. And sometimes it gives me anxiety even to know that I'm going back to dentistry, because I'm like, how am I going to keep all of this stuff up, all of this goodness that I absolutely love? So yesterday was a difficult day for me. One, I had learned that my mother, who has Alzheimer's and is in a assisted living, like independent living facility, that she is going to be moved to a more secure unit. So that was very, very difficult for me. After learning that, just trying to make decisions as a family, there really isn't a decision, because where she is stating that she's having a difficult time holding her utensils and such, and that she's going to have to move. Now, let me give you a little background about my mom. My mom is just my absolute biggest mentor. She was a dental hygienist when we were young, my sisters and myself, and then her passion was always to go to dental school. So she decided to apply to dental schools when we were 11 and 13 and got into several. She got into Georgetown, which was open at the time, and several schools, but decided on Tufts. So she, for her first 2 years, lived in Boston while we were all home with my dad. My dad is amazing, and he was completely like Mr. Mom. And he took us into Boston to see my mom on the weekends. Sometimes we would sleep over in, her little apartment, and it was cozy and it was so much fun. And I have such super fond memories. Well, when my mom got out of dental school, she was obviously living her dream. But my mom, as I got older, my mom was just so much fun, like so much fun. Believed that you could do anything. She definitely instilled that in us. And especially through college, she used to come out and party with us, and my friends were just like, you've got the coolest mom. And, back in the day, we would drink Zimas. I don't know if any of you remember them, but they were delish. And I don't know, she just always was just so incredibly positive. We went to Paris one year, to Europe one year. My parents were great. My parents were definitely the ones that were like, we need to see the 7 wonders of the world. We need to, get you over to Europe. Of course, my dad was a European history teacher, so that was really important. But thank goodness I had the opportunity to visit Europe as much as I did as a kid, because my gosh, if I had ever stepped into this wild ride of adulthood, I don't know that I would have ever taken the time to go see what it's like. And then I would have never known what I was missing. So for those of you that have been to Europe, it's absolutely over the top. So incredibly good. But so one year we went to Paris. A friend of mine had actually gotten engaged. This was during college, actually, I think. And a friend of mine had gotten engaged at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and you're not supposed to really inscribe your initials up there, but a billion quadrillion people do. And my friend Jason had inscribed their initials when they got engaged at the top, and then left me this little map to go and find it. And so I had wanted to take a picture of me in front of it, being in Paris, and basically back then everybody was back in Boston. And we went up to the top, couldn't find it. Nightfall was coming, never found it. And I was so bummed. And before we, the next day we were doing whatever, sightseeing things. And then another day came. And then before we were going to leave, my mom's like, one more time, like, let's do it. So we went over there. The line was way long. And my mom looked at me. She said, let's take the stairs. Let's go find it. Totally took the billion flights of stairs up to the top. Totally found it. Got the photo. Like, I will never forget that time. It was amazing. And I have so many other times like that with my mom. She just made shit happen. We sell the BVIs. We used to do Ragbri every year. Again, we lived in Boston. We used to go to Iowa and cycle 500 miles across the state of Iowa, which was essentially a huge party. Now, you could ride that ride like an animal, like my dad did. He would literally be up at the crack of dawn, and he would be at his tent by noon in the last town, or you could ride it like my mom and I did, which was coming in with blinkers on at night, because we would stop in every single town, because every town had just beer slides and bands and so much fun. Oh my gosh, another fond memory. So fast forward, like I said, all these years later, and I'm in dental school, I graduate. My mom always had such a spirit in her office too. She would have celebrate every occasion, and I don't know, it was awesome. So basically, I went off, I did my own thing, and we discovered, like I said, all these years later, while I was out here, that she was always so eclectic. I guess we never just really figured out or knew that she had early onset Alzheimer's, and that it was kind of coming on slowly. And I came to the point where she could do dentistry very, very well. In her memory, that was everything she knew, but she couldn't remember things like her patients, what patients she had known for a really, really long time, what their, what their background was, to ask about their kids, or, all that important stuff. So, anyway, I learned yesterday, so she ended up going into, a assisted living facility, and continued to be so incredibly positive. Like, we told her, she always had a second property. She had a second property in Newport, Rhode Island. We grew up on the Cape in the summers. And so I think letting her know she had this little apartment at this place with her Alzheimer's, it just seemed okay. And then she kind of forgot about her other place. But this place on Cape Cod is on the ocean, on the canal, and it was absolutely perfect. And she just loved it. She loved everything about it. The small little space where she had her own little apartment, and she could visit with all these people, right? Like, in this assisted living, they have little eateries. They're like restaurants. So it's kind of like high-end living. And she's loved it. She's absolutely loved it. And so when I talked to her on the phone, she doesn't remember necessarily who I am, or maybe for a minute she does, and then 2 minutes later she doesn't, but she is still the most optimistic person I have ever met or talked to. She'll be like, oh my goodness, yay, that's so great. And how many kids do you have again? Which she asks 10 times. But anyway, she's so, so, so happy. And yesterday I learned that they are going to be moving her to the next ward, if you will, or unit, a secure unit. And it was incredibly upsetting to me, because I feel like my mom is just this plant that needs sunshine. She would go down to the canal and walk, along the ocean, and had some kind of freedom, And now she's going to be locked behind closed doors in a secure unit. I believe she's going to be moved to a room versus an apartment, where she may have a roommate. It's a beautiful facility, but the idea of the security and having to move into more of a hospital-esque setting does not resonate with me at all. So it's been very hard. So yesterday was very, very trying emotionally for me with that. And then I learned that an email had come through yesterday evening inviting me to do a marketing summit, live summit, like a comeback summit. And I was ecstatic and like so upset that I had missed the email and wondered if I missed the event, signing up to getting in for that. And was like bustling to try to find the email and write back. And I listened to the Zoom call that I had missed. And I was just all kinds of frustrated and confused because right now, as a business owner, without teams, my soiree team or my sugar fix team or my white hot team, it's been extremely, extremely difficult. And I've been trying to run a one-woman show. So I'm trying to do it all, wear all of the hats. I've got my dental brand boot campers, which I adore. I love dental soiree. I love my people. I love engaging on social media. Obviously, all of you guys that do it know it's extremely time consuming. So don't get me wrong, I love it. But it's just so much. So when this event asked me for a quadrillion things like, bio and headshot. Okay, I've got those, but then like videos, and then I would have to do decks to get everything into a slide presentation. I was like, you know what? I don't think I can do it. Like, I don't think I have it in me. And it's not that I have it in me because I do, and because I'll get anything done. It's because I just have to prioritize right now. And I need to take care of my people in my boot camp and everywhere else and just make sure that they're taken care of. And so at the end of the day, I had to say no this morning after a night of complete contemplation of like, make it happen. You should do this. This is an opportunity. And then I just had to choose me and say, it's going to be okay. I felt so strongly like I had such a positive, incredible message for practices when they come back, where a lot of the speakers are going to be, actually marketing agencies. I felt as a dentist, Anissa Holmes, I believe, is the only other dentist on that marketing panel. And so I thought, what an incredible opportunity to speak as a dentist to dentists, because no one gets it like we do, right? With a coming back strategy. We all have our own thoughts, but having patients myself, I don't know, definitely have a pulse on that. So just super, super emotional yesterday and stepping into today. And I can say I'm exhausted. My husband made me Covidninetinis tonight, which was so super sweet because he knows how difficult all of this has been, especially saying no. I can't say that I ever do. And I definitely have been struggling as well with not being able to take a moment and just take a moment. Every day I wake up, I'm like, a billion things, gotta go, gotta race. And honestly, in reflection, I'm like, my gosh, where did the time go? But then I say, oh my gosh, but look what you've done, look what you've built. And, so I'm good with it. I'm so excited. I'm so happy with it. But at the same time, I need to learn to just give myself a minute, like give myself a day, say it's okay, maybe watch Netflix and chill for a minute before we go back to work. Because once we go back to work, there is no turning around. That ship is not going back. So I've had some decisions as well to make with that. I've really, really, really loved being in this creative space. It's fed my soul, but hearing from my patients is obviously breaking my heart. And, I'm really missing my Sugar Fix team and excited to get back to them. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm excited to get back to normal, right? Like the gym would definitely help. I can say, if you've been watching me on stories, I have stepped into green juice and juicing. And then by evening, I'm making cookie batter. I mean, I am all over the map and doing whatever feels good, which I'm okay with. But I can definitely say that I've put on the hashtag COVID-20, as I have put on all of my posts, because it's true. I definitely don't feel like myself. I've definitely put on weight. My hair is out of control with the gray, and I kept hoping and praying that a salon would open. I wouldn't have to do it myself, but it really looks like I'm going to have to do the actual box kit and have my daughter try to help put it in the back of my hair. I used to get my nails done every week or every 2 weeks at least. And I feel like my cuticles are overgrown, so like I can feel my fingers, and then I see my hair going white and gray, and my Botox has worn off. And meanwhile, this is like even crazier that this is the time I have stepped into video and stories the most. I used to be like, oh no, I need to go get a blowout and then I'll batch work my content. And now here I am, true authenticity, which is the way to go and the way I encourage people to be anyway. So that's the good news, like stepping forward. I definitely will continue with that. But it's been hard with the coloring the roots. I've got black dye all over my hands. I think I ruined our granite in our bathrooms because that stuff is harshness. But it's not pretty to see white, and I don't want to look old. So anyway, it's time to put the kids to bed here. I just wanted to share a little dental diaries excerpt, and it's starting to get loud up here, so I'm going to close the closet.